let us transition to the man who was coaching opposite Conor McGregor on this past season of The Ultimate Fighter. A very, I would imagine, and I may be going out on a limb here, a very interested observer and a man who will be very, I think, interested to find out what happened Sunday night in Boston as TJ Dillashaw fights Dominick Cruz for the bantamweight title. Talking to our old friend Urijah Faber right now on the MMA Hour. Urijah, how are you?
Doing good. What's up, dude?
Happy New Year, my friend. Long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It has been a minute, as the kids say. Yes. I'm doing great. It's good to have you back on the show. There's a lot to get to with you, so let's get right to it. First, I'm wondering, because I spoke about this last week, will you be in Boston to watch this fight in person?
You know, I wasn't at first, and then the UFC insisted on it, and I was actually going to be going to Mexico.
Oh.
And hanging out in Sayulita and in Puerto Vallarta, but I'm going to have to put that off and go out there and check out the show.
Now, how do you feel about that? Are you happy to attend? There's a lot going on, or would you rather you kind of sit on the sidelines and watch from afar?
Yeah, either way is fine. I'd be watching either way.
Sure.
It is what it is. I'll be happy to be there and get a live shot at what's happening, but Mexico's nice too.
Yes, Eric Del Fiero told us earlier on that he doesn't own a winter jacket, and he's going to need one in Boston. What about you, the California kid? Please don't tell me you're going to be wearing flip-flops over there.
I'm going to bring some flip-flops.
Oh,
We'll see if I can manage them. I wore some flip-flops in Sweden,
Oh, God.
Here and there, but and it was freezing there. But I'll bring a couple of outfits so I can make a game time decision.
So you're coming off that win over Frankie Saenz, and we'll get to that specific performance in a second. But I'm wondering, I said this is a win-win for the UFC, this fight. It's very rare when you have two fighters fighting for the belt, and then you have, the next option chilling on the sidelines. And like I said, it's a win-win. If TJ wins, there's the obvious matchup there. If Dominic wins, there's the obvious matchup. That's a very rare thing. Have they told you, though, that you're getting the winner of this fight regardless?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh.
They don't roll like that.
That's a buzzkill.
But I mean, I can assume that, and that's what I'm prepared for. I think, it makes sense. That's what the fight people want to see, and I've been at the top of the division for a very long time, and it'd be a waste not to have that happen. Okay,
so your emotions, I'm curious about them as well. Cruz, long history. TJ, longer history perhaps, but some things have happened that have changed your relationship as of late. What are your emotions going into this fight? Like, how do you feel about the actual matchup?
It's going to be an interesting matchup. I think I don't want to give away my insight on either guy really, but I think it's going to be an interesting matchup, and I think a couple things could happen. I don't think it's going to be a one-sided affair in any way, shape, or form. Of course, I haven't seen TJ in the last few months, but over the last 6.5 years or so, I feel like I know enough about him that I think he's going to win. And I know that Cruz can be elusive. He's maybe one of the best defensive fighters out there, and TJ is more one of the best offensive guys out there. So it's going to be interesting.
So you're picking TJ to win the fight, for the record?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you think it's a decision, a classic Dominick Cruz fight where it's very hard to finish the guy? You did it, and no one else pretty much has. But do you think it's one of those fights, or do you think he actually stops him?
Oh man, I don't know. It's funny because Dominic got his first real finish in the history of his career with Zuffa, meaning WC and UFC, which has to be I know that guy's a numbers guy. He likes to talk about his numbers of stats and this and that. That's one stat that is pretty impressive and not impressive at the same time. But he got his first one against Mizugaki with a ground and pound stoppage.
Yes.
So, hopefully we've seen him put on a little bit of a killer instinct over the years, and he's more willing to step in and get nasty in there. But I think he's going to be pretty elusive. I think TJ will find a way to connect with him. I mean, Dominic talks about, he'll be quick to talk about how he has a win over me, but they just played that fight, I think, last night. And it was just apparent to me that he's not that hard to hit. I've hit him a number of times. I hit him clean on the chin, put him on his butt, my fist to his chin to his butt. on 3 different occasions during our fight. So I think TJ will be able to do the same.
Now, for the
And
record,
I think he'll probably finish him.
oh wow, you think he submits him like you?
No, I think he'd probably knock him out.
Okay. For the record, WEC 47 in March of 2010 did win via doctor stoppage against Brian Bowles.
No, not doctor stoppage. Bowles didn't answer the bell because he thought he had a broken hand.
Okay, fair enough. But you don't want to give him that one.
Right? That's what I said. I said pretty much the only stop.
Pretty much.
The only stoppage. And if you watch Dominick's interview afterwards, it was hilarious because I was thinking, oh my gosh, what a D-bag this guy is. He was all fumbling around, all excited, and like saying a bunch of dumb stuff. And then he later said, "To those who want to say that I didn't finish Bowles, he broke his hand on my head." Which, I mean, you can't argue with that. He did. But he actually didn't break his hand. He thought he broke his hand.
Are you surprised to see him return after all those injuries, 3 ACLs, the groin, hand injuries and whatnot? Like at this point that we're here in 2016, he's about to fight for the belt. Does that somewhat shock you?
No. I mean, time flies in this world. It's like, I can't believe it's been so long, but I mean, what a better time than to come in. It's almost like he skipped a bunch of BS, which is, waiting for the pay to get better, waiting to get the notoriety to get better, and is in at a perfect time. I mean, this is the best time to be in MMA. It's on a world level that's never been before. It's the pay, the coverage, everything's better. So, it makes sense.
And I don't know if you've seen, have you seen their back and forth? They had this sit down with John Anik. They've done conference calls. Have you watched any of this? And do you feel like the rest of the world that, for the most part, Dominick is getting the better of TJ in these verbal exchanges?
I mean, getting the better. Both of them look like duds. I mean, Dominick's like, he seriously reminds me of like a third grader who is like throwing out little insults and then like running behind this schoolyard teacher. I mean, it's not that interesting. I just caught the little tidbit they had the last time, and it's like, I mean, these guys just look like they're irritating. Well, TJ looks irritated and Dominick looks irritated. I mean, irritating and
Yes.
Irritated is what it is. But it's not that interesting. It's like, I'm not looking forward to hearing any of the talk, and I'm going to do my best to avoid it. I'll just speak my mind when my turn's up.
Well, the good news is there's only 6 days left of it. I just want to read you a quick quote that TJ said on the conference call on Friday. He said, quote, "With me and Faber, that surprised me the way he's been acting as well, because I'm cool with all the guys, and really that's just a way for him to push for a title fight, for him to make some money. I've done nothing but show respect. I don't go out there and talk crap about Urijah, and there's plenty to talk about. I'm just going to continue to be a humble guy and appreciate what he did for me in this sport." And I thought the most, end quote, I thought the most interesting part of that quote was, "I don't go out there and talk crap about Urijah, and there's plenty to talk about." What did you make of that quote?
I never heard that quote. And I don't know. What have I said about TJ? That's what I'm curious about. I don't remember saying anything about the guy other than what really happened. I mean, and it is what it is. It's fine. I mean, I wonder what he's thinking. Here's what happens. That guy gets bombarded. The old Mystic Mac, Conor McGregor, called him a snake in the grass and made that thing, and so he's getting harassed at all times. But I never said he was a snake in the grass. I never said anything. Now is he? That's up for argument. I've never said anything about the guy except for that it doesn't make sense to me that he would turn his back on what got him to where he is, and perception is reality. So if he thinks that I'm talking about this or that, here's the truth. If somebody, I mean, here's why he was upset and maybe what he's surprised about. I told him he can't not be on our team and come in and train with our team. You can't not give any credit to the team. You can't come in and beat up our guys like he's been known to do, just carelessly about other people's health and wellness. You can't not contribute back to the team by helping pay back into the team. You can't do all this stuff and still be on our team. What he wanted to do was, hey, I'm having this conversation with you. I'm going to let you know I'm no longer going to represent the team. when they're filming and stuff, I want to film out there because they're paying me, and but I'd still like to be part of the team. I'd like to be in the off season. I want to come in and do my training there. I want to do this. I want to do that. That's not the way a team works. And so I'm not saying anything bad about the guy other than, no, you can't do that. And he lost it because he knows the reason why he's where he is today is because of, whether I saw a clip somebody sent me on Snapchat where they said that for the first time, TJ has a real coach. It's like, dude, are you kidding me, man? Perception is reality. So, it's a big FU to all the coaches he's had throughout the years. But the bottom line is I've never said anything about the guy. And, he's upset because he's getting harassed because of his actions, but that's not my doing. That's the world observing and having their own reaction to things. It's not, so he's built himself into a victim, and I don't know where I step into place with that. I don't think it's the things that have taken place throughout time with he and I have been nothing but and you can ask him this and I'll see if he, if there's any way to combat that. There's zero time that I've done anything but try to help that guy, from letting him live at my house for free, from taking him with me when I go work with great coaches like Phil Nurse and putting him in with the Ultimate Fighter and getting him exposure and coaching him for whatever he wants to give credit for or whatnot. I don't really care, but where is he getting this animosity from me? Just because I said he can't come in and train with our team. It's like, you chose to leave the team. You're welcome to be a part of our team if you want to, but if you don't want to be a part of our team, you can't have the benefit of being with our team, but without giving anything back. So that, I don't know where his animosity comes from, but it's just kind of strange how he's turned himself into a victim and me into the bad guy. And I've been nothing but respectful to him as well.
If you guys were still on good terms, he was still a part of the team. He's about to fight Dominick Cruz for the belt on Sunday. He wins that fight. What would you do? Would you fight him? Would you fight a team member? Or at that point, would you say, I'm not going to do it?
I've already turned that fight down a couple times because of that. And I've had conversations with him. It's a very, I guess when you look at someone who just sees their own perspective, it's just such a weird thing to me for him to be so upset. And I guess when you do something where you turn your back on your roots, etc., there's got to be a weird spot for you. And because of that, I know that it bugs him because he's asked our guys to help him along the process. And what he was planning on doing was, having the best of both worlds. It doesn't work like that. He's asked, for a lot of our guys to help him out, etc. And it's got to be weird going to a whole different environment for the first time in your entire career. But, someone that's worried about himself only can only see his side of view, is his point of view, and perception is reality. So whatever the perception is, I'm not going to argue with it, because you can't argue with anybody's perception of things, because that's how they perceive. That's their reality. But the truth is, I've done nothing but try to help the guy. It is what it is at this point. He made a choice, and I don't think that it's going to matter either way, really. It's TJ's put in a lot of work. He's a hardworking guy. He believes in himself. He's done a good job of believing whatever he's doing at the time. And when he wanted to believe that Master Tong was the best trainer on the planet, he believed that wholeheartedly. I heard him say it time and time again. And what he's taken from other coaches throughout time, it is what it is. But I think this fight is going to be a fight between two great fighters, and the best guy's going to win. And I'm not sure who that is, but I'm leaning towards TJ.
What's your reaction?
I would be curious. I would be curious to know where the animosity comes. Is it just because I didn't let him on the team, or I felt like some things that he's done have been, not what a friend would do, that kind of thing? Where does his animosity towards me branch in, other than him not being able to utilize the best team, in the world, our team?
Well, I will have the honor of being in Boston and hopefully get a chance to talk to him. I will ask him that very question. How about that?
That'd be great.
Let me ask you this, though.
I always tell my guys, I've told a lot of different people this, hey, don't be a victim. I'm not a victim. You're not a victim. You make choices, you stand by them, you do whatever. You don't get to have the best of both worlds. You can, you follow what you do. I mean, don't be on both sides of the fence. You just go and do your thing, but don't be a victim. You're not a victim.
What's your reaction, and what can you tell us about the state of the team? Because considering where you're at with TJ now, and then I see a picture of Lance Palmer and Joseph Benavidez out there at Elevation Fight Team in Colorado, Leister Bowling and Elliot Marshall. I mean, how do you feel about this?
That's what I told TJ right off the bat. I said, hey, man, this is purely like you making a decision and there's actions. I said, I'm not going to do anything to try to ruin your relationships with anyone else, period. I mean, that's not my place. Guys, I think it's great guys have great relationships. And we've always been a gym that has allowed and like encouraged people to go all over. I've trained at Duke Rufus's gym. I've trained in New Mexico at Winklejohn Jackson gym.
Mm-hmm.
I've trained with Cobrina in LA. I've trained everywhere I've gone. I've tried to go in and train somewhere. We've never been against that. And the bottom line is I'm not going to worry about anything external. If the guys that are with us, we're going to develop them into champions. We've done it before. We've had a history of champions. The guys that are not with us, I mean, so be it. It is what it is. You can't cry over spilled milk. So it's great to have the guys that we have with us. If anybody wants to go anywhere, dude, I'm not handcuffing anyone. You guys go do your thing.
So, we had Lance Palmer on the show before his World Series of Fighting bout, and he was saying it's going to be interesting if you guys do fight, to decide who's going to corner who. Do you have any idea who you'll choose?
I know who I'll be having corner with me. It's not a big secret. I don't think that he's going to be having anybody. I know for a fact he won't be having anyone from our team cornering him against me. I think, at our last fight, he had asked Justin Buckles to corner him, and I think it's just kind of a testament. And Buckles talking about it, I said, yeah, I don't have any problem with anything. If he needs that, I mean, there's no secret that Dwayne is a mess in the corner, especially when TJ fights. If he's not, smoked himself silly, he's going to pass out or crap himself or something. So it'll be a nice calming effect to have somebody from the history of TJ's background there in this corner. But that'll be the very last time that Buckles is going to corner TJ, and he's talked about that. Buckles has really stepped up as a head guy on our team, and we've been making some great changes. Him and Holdsworth both have stepped up and been lead coaches, and so it's kind of an exciting time for us, and really it makes the most sense from an economic standpoint when you want to talk about the decision TJ made to, jump ship. He's going to get paid over there. He now opens the door to fight guys like myself, like Cody Garbrandt, like Chris Holdsworth, if Holdsworth ever, has a full recovery from the head trauma, and whoever else we have coming up, which are big fights, doesn't have to pay into the team. I mean, you want to talk about monetary benefit, there's that there, but the truth is, TJ is a product of our team. He gets a win over Cruz. That's a product of what he's put in throughout the years. It's part of us, and we're proud of that as well.
Okay, but you didn't answer exactly who would be in your corner. Who would that be?
I mean, you'll just have to see when it comes.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Where are we at with the head coaching search? Is it Justin Buckles? Is it someone else? I know Campman recently left. Where are we at with that?
So we have had a talk, and Justin throughout the years has been a big coaching factor. He's helped out a lot, but he's also been having his own career as well, where he'll jump in and have fights. A lot of times, kind of short notice fights, etc. But he's finally had a talk and said he really wants to step up and take the lead role. And I'm not going to be fighting for forever. I'll be fighting the next 2 years at the most. Having Buckles there step up, and then on the other side, Holdsworth. Unfortunately, he's suffered some head trauma, and we've been waiting for him to recover. And he just talked to me and said, "You know what? I really want to step up." I mean, that guy is a friggin' world of knowledge. Not only undefeated as a professional in mixed martial arts, won the Ultimate Fighter. He's a black belt for many, many years now. His striking, he's been with every coach that we've had and knows everybody's system. he's a huge asset. So those two guys are really stepping up and kind of doing a lead coaching split. We have multiple practices that we run. It's the same system we always have, and having those guys step up, and we've been working together as a team to develop even more some of our proprietary stuff. We have our series of moves, from our choke series to our rear naked choke series to our striking series, etc. And we've been developing that a lot. So I mean, it's funny that throughout the years people have had this big eye on the head coaching position, but we've got a whole array of coaches that are kind of splitting the responsibility, with Justin Buckles and Holdsworth taking a lead with that. And Danny Castillo's been helping out a lot, and Lance Palmer's helped out throughout the years. But having those guys really step up and take a stand has been awesome.
I'm curious if behind the scenes you and TJ have had a chance to talk, and he reach out to you, you reach out to him and say, look, this got out of hand. Can we talk again? Maybe we don't have to fight. Would you be open to that at all, or is that ship sailed?
I don't know. I honestly, because I have no idea what goes on in that guy's head. Before my last fight, when he asked Justin to be on our team, or to corner him, he came backstage and said, "What's up, dude?" Shook hands before the weigh-ins, and I'm telling you, man, negativity and even self-doubt and fear, that stuff's all contagious. I don't know, the fuel gets fired. I mean, the fire gets fueled almost every day with media, and this is said and that is said. The bottom line is, look, I know I can write down who my closest friends are. Is TG one of my closest friends? No. Do I have an issue with the guy? No. I mean, it's not like I don't know. I just don't know where his animosity is coming. I can only think it's because I said, no, you can't act like you're not on our team, but actually come be a part of our team, because we have a team to build. We have a history to build. This is 12 years that this team has been built. So maybe that's what he's referring to. But I see the guy. It's fine. I mean, when we fight, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. But I mean, is he my good friend? I mean, absolutely not. I mean, that's through actions, and that's how friendships are. It's not like, do you say you're friends with someone? Oh yeah, he and I are friends. No, it's through actions. How do people, how people treated you? How do you treat people, et cetera, et cetera? And so, I mean, am I closing that door? No, not necessarily. But I mean, I don't think we're really making steps in the right direction. I mean, we're going to be beating the crap out of each other with some real animosity.
Well, so what do you mean when you say, it's a different story when you fight? What do you mean by that?
How do I say it in context? You got to remind me. I know I just said it, but
I think you were implying, I think, that when you train, it's different.
Oh, that's 100%. For me, that's 100% true. And actually, TJ is one of those guys where it's almost like he trains without consideration for his training partners, like he's in a fight, looking for knees, looking for the knockout, etc. But he's never done that with me. He's always been really respectful with me.
Okay.
And you've never seen us elevate things to that level, whether it's, well, first off, I don't do that in general in practice, because, that's not how you're supposed to, do your partners. But, and he's never felt that from me. So, I mean, that's a different story. I mean, a real fight is a whole lot different than practice. And we've had some great goes throughout the years, and that guy's got a lot of, I mean, he's got a bad temper in practice, but he's always kept it under control with me.
In your heart of hearts, deep down, are you kind of hoping that Cruz wins so you don't have to go through this whole drama? There's that rivalry there. You guys aren't friends. You fought twice. Nice trilogy, all that. You don't have to go through the whole Team Alpha thing. It feels like a cleaner scenario for you. Are you hoping for that?
No, not necessarily.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. I just am more excited for a fight with TJ than I am with Cruz, for whatever reason. I mean, it's the story is there. I mean, you can imagine how the feelings are. My thing with Dominick Cruz is I've always been trying to find some sort of some sort of rivalry. It's hard for me. I like most people, and Dominick Cruz is like the first guy to just be a real jackhole and get on my nerves. And, but that is what it is. It's pretty mundane. But as far as having real animosity and a real, itch to fight, I feel like it's more so with TJ. And it's kind of the fact that he's turned this into him being a victim, which is really ironic and kind of comical. But, if it's a financial thing, like a decision that's been made financially, it's something that has changed from a financial decision to a financial decision, and it is a little bit personal.
Final question for you, Urijah, and I appreciate the time. It's good to catch up as always. My mother in particular is very happy that you're on. Always gives me a nice text when you're about to come on the show.
Hello.
Oh, she's listening. She'll text me in a second. What's the state in terms of the mood of the team? Because that weekend, that was a strange one, and it actually lingered.
It was a rough weekend.
Paige, Chad, you come up, and it's interesting that you were last and you're the captain, so that was a nice way. But then even several days later, in the same venue as Paige and Chad, Lance loses his belt. So that's a big blow to three of the bigger names on the team. What's the mood like now? As the captain, as the guy, as the founder, what's the mood like at Team Alpha Male?
To be honest, it's been great, and I think trimming out the fat and seeing who's with us. There's been cancer. It's like you have to cut out the cancer, and when you have the slightest amount of doubt, the slightest amount of fear, etc., that can kind of spread, and people do it unconsciously. And for me, seeing ups and downs being highlighted, I mean, there's all eyes on us, which is a blessing and a curse. But I mean, if you look at maybe Winkle John Jackson's record over the last month. If you look at Connor's team, what their record is over the last month, it's a very individual sport, and there's ups and downs in it. And so it was hard to see those guys lose, but we're no strangers to losing. This is a sport where there's ups and downs all the time, and the negativity that comes from these kind of moments, like snapshots in an entire existence of a team, is just motivating for the guys that know it's an internal battle. I mean, a fight is an internal battle. If you let anything external get to you, any weakness get to you, any fear, etc., you're doing yourself a disservice. So we've just been building the confidence of our guys. We saw Andre Feely have his best performance ever. Cody No Love, who's a star in the making, is about to have a huge fight against John Lineker, and I've never seen the fire lit under him like I have now. I mean, it's an exciting time for us. And Paige, what a showing of heart that she had against an opponent that was ranked extremely high above her. Especially in this shallow women's division, a number 3 and a number 7 are obviously we're pretty far apart. So seeing her reignited with her passion and wanting to get back in here and get better. Chad, if you watch that fight, it was they both took the same exact step into the same combo, and he was just on the short end of it. So these are things that happen in a fight, and the inner confidence of folks should not be because of other people's performances. And I think I showed that, and it's something that you need to believe in. So the state of the nation is great. I'm excited for the future. This is a small snapshot of the overall picture of Team Alpha Male, and we've experienced highs and experienced lows throughout the 13-year, 12-year stint. So it's an exciting time for us. 2016 is going to be a great year. This big fight against Cody and Lineker is something that I'm looking forward to, and I'm trying to heal up right now and get back in the swing of things as well and get ready for a big performance. My 2016 is going to be a good one.
A pleasure as always. Great words there to end another chat. I look forward, if we have the opportunity, to seeing you in frigid Boston. I look forward to hearing your thoughts after the fight as well. Safe travels out there. Urijah, thank you very much for the time again. Happy New Year. Congratulations on the win in December. And may the best man win Sunday night in Boston. This is going to be an interesting ride. Thank you again, Urijah. Always a pleasure.
You got it. All right, brother.
All right, there he is, the California kid himself, Urijah Faber, stopping by to talk about, among many other things, TJ Dillashaw versus Dominick Cruz.